£200 million to spend for Ruben Amorim. 9 Manchester United players to leave this summer. You would have read a load of stories last night and definitely in the morning papers this morning about Manchester United's and Ruben Amorim's war chest heading into the transfer window this summer. I've read through it all. I've read through most of it. A lot of it is a kind of what we have known already and the obvious, but there are some interesting bits to pick out from it as well regarding certain players. I'll get you updated on all of the other transfer news as well, aside of what is going on with Manchester United's spending and what we've got to spend with Ruben Amorim this summer. This is Forever United TV. It's live. It's match day, Sunday morning, ahead of the Newcastle game today, everybody. Let me know how excited you are in the comment section, in the live chat as well, everyone. Get your comments across on all of the stories as well we're covering. Let's get into what is going on with Manchester United's so-called war chest. Why is it a war chest? Why have we got so much to spend? Well, you could say this is sensationalising the obvious when some of the Sunday papers get into action. You could say that 200 million, when you break it down, they could simply be saying, well, if you put Rashford together, Sancho together, Anthony together, Casemiro together, maybe even Garnacho being sold. All of these stories are in these reports actually this morning and what's happening with them. We're going to talk about that, but really when you look at it, there is like a clear way, and we've always said here, and we've always backed it up with context as well as to what could happen and how Manchester United can make these finances work for them this summer. You could see United spending 200 million easily this summer. And we'll break it down into what they're saying, who could be leaving Manchester United this summer as well, in all of the speculation columns amongst the papers and all the reports online and on social media, because once it goes onto social media, you use the sort of, it starts to escalate to a level where it's like, right, okay, like, I think he should be going. I don't think this is the right price for him. Why is he only worth this much? All of that is what starts going on social media. But when you look at it, first of all, most of this has come from the Mirror. And a lot of the reports are going in on the same story regarding Manchester United having a certain amount of money to spend this summer, a certain amount of money for Ruben Amorim to transform Manchester United. Now, we all know that he needs backing in the summer, and the Ineos stance on this is that obviously he is going to have to sacrifice some players. Now, you would automatically say, are we really sacrificing one of our worst ever Premier League teams in getting rid of a few of these players? Everyone would be like, that's a bonus. It's not a sacrifice. And I don't mean that having a go at the players straight off the bat here, but obviously Ruben Amorim really, and when we say Ruben Amorim has come in at the wrong time, you could say he's coming at the right time when it comes to this summer's transfer window. I've alluded to this before by saying that he has seen these players for what they are in the most important stages of a season. He's had plenty of time to have a really good look at everybody when the chips are down, and he can go into this summer with a clear head, knowing exactly what characteristics are in his dressing room, in there, what they've done on the pitch, how they've handled pressure and everything like that. And now obviously you start to see a pathway into that summer, and the plan starts to emerge. Certain players that they know they cannot get rid of because they're not going to be able to raise enough money for them. It's like, for instance, we talked last night about Rasmus Højlund. He is not going anywhere this summer. I mean, I can talk about the stories and forever and a day keep on banging on about people being interested in Rasmus Højlund, but I'm always going to come up with the same answer. I will be absolutely astounded. I'd be staggered if Manchester United managed to sell Rasmus Højlund for more than 50 million this summer. Who is going to buy that player? The reality tells us nobody, unless Manchester United can structure some deal that suits another football club. This is what you've got to look at when it comes to the transfer window in certain players anyway. But there are obviously the ones that we all know about, and the players we know about, and what these reports of 200 million. Now, United have got a little bit of money to spend. It's not a lot. And the rumour is it's speculated between the 60 and 70 million pound mark. Now, 60 and 70 million spread into PSR terms is a completely different ball game. So the price tags of players will be what the papers and all of the online accounts are talking about right now. For instance, if Manchester United went out and bought, for instance, Ryan Cherki, who is in the headlines this morning with United apparently leading the race for him. So we might as well just start with that one and go Ryan Cherki, 20 million apparently. It's going to be more than that. They've just gone off the obvious, which is the release clause that everybody knows about. But there are certain things that need to be hit for that release clause to happen. If you didn't know about this already, Ryan Cherki has a release clause in his contract with Lyon, a gentleman's agreement which is going to come into action this summer because he's only got 1 year left on his deal, and Lyon have to sell. They have to sell Ryan Cherki this summer. Everybody knows this. So, for instance, let's say Ryan Cherki turns out to be 30 million. Manchester United buy him. So there's 30 million off your 200 million. That's 170 million. Manchester United right now, we're looking at everyone else past that, adding to that. So, for instance, you could buy another player that's worth 50 million, and then that comes in, what you're talking there, there's 80 million spent, you've got 120 million left. So that's what the papers are talking about. But behind the scenes, this is how Manchester United spend the 200 million. The reality in PSR terms is Ryan Cherki is probably 2 payments of 15 million quid over 2 years or something like that. So it's 15 million, not 30. Someone else bought, say for instance, you went and bought Matheus Cunha for 62 million. You could spread that out over 4 years in 15 million pound payments. So really you could say there's Ryan Cherki and there is Matheus Cunha for 30 million of this spend. That's what it looks like. That's the reality of it. So when people say, Adam, we still got to deal with the other transfer fees that Manchester United owe, yes, we have. And when we sell the players, like for instance Antony, and that has all been pretty much added to the balance sheets, that's how it works out. Antony is in instalments himself, and that's what United are paying already. So it's a similar sort of thing. And this is how the window actually works out. It's not like United have got all of this money all of a sudden and Ineos have done an amazing job and conjuring up this war chest for Ruben Amorim. No, it's a structured package which on paper, the full value of the players is all anybody talks about. But behind the scenes, like I said, in terms of PSR, that is a player. So for instance, if you wanted to buy £100 million player for Manchester United and put him on 200 grand a week, that would be 30 million for Manchester United this summer. Because that's the first 20 or 30 million down payment on the player, plus his wages as well. That's how it works. And that's what this story is all about. It's not that we're going to get max value for Antony, for Rashford. Rashford will help the books because he is obviously 100% profit. And Manchester United there can obviously put that right in against all of them historical payments in terms of balancing the PSR sheets. That's what Manchester United will be looking at. What it comes down to really is not the money that's spent by Ineos or Manchester United, and not how much they're backing him, which the headlines are saying. It's more to Manchester United in what players Ruben is getting. So money for Manchester United, and all Manchester United fans know is money is money. We spend money like it's going out of fashion. We've always done it and we've always wasted it. So the money side of it doesn't really matter to Manchester United fans. It's the player. It's who's actually coming in and it's getting the right player for Ruben Amorim. That's what we need to be concentrating on, not how much money is being spent. I don't care if United spend 100 million this summer. As long as it's on the right players for Ruben Amorim, I know that Manchester United are getting the right player for what we're trying to build under this coach. I don't care about 200 million. Don't care about inflated prices. United are the lowest spenders in the league this summer. You'll have some accounts online going in on that. Cheapskate Manchester United. This is how cheap Jim Ratcliffe is. And the Glazers are still the puppet masters, pulling the strings, not spending money. The Glazers have blown every single penny that Man United have made. United, think of them as a football club and not what the owners are. United have spent near enough more than anybody more than anybody in the Premier League since the Glazers have been in situ. And that's what everybody seems to forget. We do spend a lot of money, but it counts for nothing unless you've got the recruitment team in place to get the right players. So the focus is solely on what players actually come into Manchester United, and that should be the sole focus of what we're looking at this summer. And I think this is the angle that I've always taken on it here on FUTV, which is that it's about getting what Ruben wants with the recruitment team on the same page. So Ruben isn't going to get the full say on everything that comes in, we know this, but he's going to have a big say. And the fact that he is being backed by Ineos now, he's obviously not going to get sacked. We know that, even though it's United's worst ever season. Constant communication with Jason Wilcox. Everything that's happening there, I think, is more important for Manchester United fans to be looking into, because he knows what type of players Ruben wants, and he'll get his list of players there for him to pick from, and then we'll go into it then. And then Ruben will obviously make sure that he can actually get the right man to fit into what he wants. It's absolutely crucial. So where we've been writing off Liam Delap, for instance, with some fans right now, and we know that he's a top target for Manchester United, that's not for Ruben. Ruben sees him as the exact right type of player to fit into his system. And when you go into all of the news and everything that's happening this morning, that's basically the overall look on things. So your headline is 200 million. Wow, where's that coming from? Not in reality, no. It's about what Man United can fit into instalment payments going into the summer. That basically is it. It's like a mortgage on a house. You've in assets, you earn, what, hundreds of thousands worth, and that's what you're worth. No, you don't, because you still owe money on that property. We still owe money on these players. Until the contracts are up and they've gone through them, which is very rare, isn't it? Like, you very rarely see players sticking around forever and a day, unless you're the likes of Luke Shaw. Anyway, you very rarely see it at any club, do you? That's when the 100% profit comes in. And when I talked last night about Jadon Sancho, for instance, in his situation, that is now seen as profit because Sancho is pretty much paid off. United would have paid all of Jadon Sancho's transfer fee by the time this summer comes. Like for instance, what Sir Jim Ratcliffe said, we've got 98 million to fork out this summer alone before we spend on anybody else. That's all historical transfers from the past that we're still paying for. It's the same with every other football club. Don't let anyone think that we are in this situation which is just unique to Manchester United. It's not. It's just how football finance runs. We are always going to owe money. It's just part and parcel of it. It's just the running of the club and the finances that are there every single summer and every single season. When you look into the players that are supposedly on their way out, 9 players is the other headline. Well, I can tell you right now, 9 players would include free agents Tom Heaton, Christian Eriksen, and Victor Lindelof. So now you're down to 6. Forget them, they're gone. Or what are they saving you? Not much in transfer fees. But I'll tell you what they are saving. Close to 15 million quid a year in wages. That's what them 3 players who don't do anything for Manchester United at all, really, in the grand scheme of things, is gone. Bang. So you're down to 6 players. So who are the 6 players leaving Manchester United? And this is when I go into the part where it's like, you already know this. And it's sensationalizing the actual stories within the morning papers. This is what the Sunday papers do. They bump up the atmosphere. Who's playing football today on Super Sunday, the big game? It's Man United. So let's start writing stories about Manchester United and the big spend. And it builds up and up and up. Because everybody knows United are playing and the focus is on them today. Everybody's reading the papers and everybody's talking about what's actually happening behind the scenes in the build-up. This is how it works. So there's them 3 players gone. 6 more. You could say Casemiro is one of them players. We all know about him and what we can get for him. And if he wants to leave, that would be what? 15 to 20 million for Casemiro. Big wage, he's gone. Contract coming to an end. Manchester United clearing the decks with Casemiro. No more payments for him. And no more instalments for him. Yep. So we're down to what? 5? 5 players left. Well, we know Marcus Rashford's leaving. We know that he hasn't got time for Timo Malacio. We know that Jadon Sancho is also leaving. And we know that Anthony is leaving. So there's 4 more. So now you've got 1 more player left to leave Manchester United. So you can see how the story is just what we've been talking about week after week after week. There is nothing new in it at all. The only thing that matters, it's not the players that are leaving. It's not 9 players, first-team players, and a squad being absolutely dissected. Sacrifices needing to be made by Ruben Amorim. Let's be honest. He isn't really sacrificing anything that he's using there, is there? There is maybe 1 more player in this, and that's the 1 player that we should be concentrating on that could be sold. It's not going to be Rasmus Højlund, because like I've said, he's not going to get that value for him. After 2 years, there's no chance. United paid 75 million. So you can imagine we're going to be paying Rasmus Højlund's fee for 4 years. And we're only about, what? We're not even halfway through paying what we owe for Rasmus Højlund. And you're going to have to make more than 40 million quid just to break even on Rasmus Højlund right now. It's not going to happen. United won't do it just to break even when you've got a young player there. They're happy to sell other players on, but not the younger players. If someone came in with the right price right now for Rasmus Højlund, which was 50 plus million, United would stand to make a little bit of profit on that deal, and that could happen. So that, forget it. And we all know that. When we've got our reality caps on, we know that Rasmus Højlund is going nowhere this summer. So then you move into the realms of, right, who else would this be? Well, there's been talk of Kobbie Mainoo, hasn't there? And him leaving Manchester United. That I don't see happening with the new contracts looking good for Kobbie. Coming on the pitch, looking decent against Lyon the other night on Thursday. Looks like he is going to be a mainstay. Ruben has always backed him anyway. There is one more player, which is, of course, Mr. Alejandro Garnacho. Now, he could be the key to the whole summer for Manchester United, because him, alongside Marcus Rashford, and if United do sell Vitek as well, there's 3 homegrown players that Manchester United could sell for way over 100 million quid this summer. That gives Manchester United more than 200 million to spend this summer if they wanted to. That there would just completely see Manchester United through any period of PSR. And that, I think, is why you've got stories going around today, because Garnacho is on the headlines this morning as well about Napoli I don't want to say now, like putting themselves back in the picture again and sort of reigniting their interest in Alejandro Garnacho. And that is going around from a lot of the Italian side of things. And there's a lot of stories online with Garnacho as well. And this is going to be a continuous thing now going through to the end of the season. Because I feel like with Mason Mount coming back and Kobbie Mainoo coming back, Garnacho's not going to get as much game time. And I think we all understand and know that. As soon as Mount is fully fit and ready to go, and there is shouts for him to be starting today actually, the talks of Garnacho are going to start to ramp up a little bit. And we know that is coming as well. So which player it is, I don't know. I still see double figures. I could still see more than that leaving, to be honest. And the difficulties of each one of them players leaving are their own story on their own. I just wanted to generalise the whole outlook of this morning's headlines of the 200 million war chest that Ruben's got to spend. The reason why I've put Ruben on the thumbnail, and obviously Vivel and Wilcox behind him. Vivel and Wilcox are the key parties in this. They're the ones that are going to be massive for Manchester United this summer. They're the 2 people that are right behind Ruben Amorim and are who he's reporting to and getting the information from. They are Ruben's foot soldiers, basically. And it's them 2 that are going to make Ruben's team for him. They're the vital parts in all of this. The key cogs, you could say, in the machine and the transfer machine. It's not about the money. It's about the players that come in. So I'm going to come to the chat first of all. Give the live chat your opportunity in breaking this all down and giving me your opinions on this. So please do get into the chat, everybody. We have already got over 100 likes on the video. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on the show, giving me your opinions in there as well. If you do like the content, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you have subscribed to make sure that you have subscribed so you're up to date with all Manchester United news going forward. I reported, and a few people picked up on my show last night about the 2 players that had a bit of an issue with Andre Onana, and there was nearly a fight in the dressing room. And a few people have picked up on that on social media as well from last night's show. That has also been backed up by some credible sources as well at the same time. So there is, I was going to swear them, it's too early on a Sunday morning, shizzle, there is stuff going on behind the scenes within Manchester United's team. Good. And I said this last night, that's the best bit of news I've heard coming out of Manchester United since we actually had that nightmare finish to the game against Lyon. If they're fighting about it, it's great. They're on the same page as us because we're all raging right now. So let's rage together as a fan base and a team, shall we? And yeah, I don't mind if they're windmilling in the dressing room or anything. Go at it. Go at it, because vent. You've got to. These players are just as passionate, you would say, in their moments in games, aren't they? Like, you've got to be as devastated as a fan is. Obviously, you've got to keep a face on it for obvious reasons. You're on camera, you're professional, and all of that. But inside, they've got to be raging. Surely, they're just normal people like us. And really, we all know what we wanted to do with a certain someone in our squad after that game. You've seen my reaction to it. So why wouldn't these players be thinking the same thing? It affects them even more, in a way, in their own personal careers. So, yeah, that story did gather a little bit of momentum last night. But Right. I want to come into the comment section anyway. Almac says, I want Edison as our priority. We need a dominant, we need to dominate the midfield. Tom says something to Gray, which I'm not going to bring out. This is the glory of the live chats. Love it. What happens if we don't sell Marcus or Casemiro? That's half a team's wages. Well, again, I think I've backed that up by saying confidently, look, you're right. There's no guarantee, ATKO, that we sell Marcus Rashford or Casemiro. There's no guarantee at all that they both go. They're both contracted, and on paper, you could say no, they're not going to go if they don't want to. But also, to back that up, I've also said, look, Casemiro, I feel right now he's at the stage where he's not going to earn Man United a lot of money, and United need to make a decision on him. I think there's more chance of Casemiro staying than there is Marcus Rashford. And the reasons behind that, and what I've always said, is Marcus Rashford wants to play in the World Cup. The only reason Marcus Rashford's back in the thinking of Thomas Tuchel, of the England manager, is because he's playing football at Villa. If he comes to United, he's not going to play. And he's definitely not going to play enough, even if he makes up with Ruben Amorim. He's not going to get enough game time. Because this summer, Ruben's going to bring in the players that he wants, which would put Marcus Rashford further down the pecking order anyway. And from what I'm told, there is no way back for Marcus Rashford. So even if he came back and we were lumbered with his wages, he isn't going to play. And he would make a move happen because of that, because he wants to be in Thomas Tuchel's World Cup 2026 side in the USA. So that, I think, is how Marcus Rashford's situation, that's how it pretty much pans out for me. Because Marcus Rashford will want to play. And, yeah, you could say, well, just sit there on his big, big wages and not be bothered. Well, it clearly shows that he wants to be playing. So I think he would, and his people would materialise and move away from Manchester United. I think that's why I would always feel confident that Marcus Rashford is going to go this summer. Ireland is the most overprotected player of all time, says Amir. Wayne says, Steve, that's why United have paid over the buyout clauses in recent purchases, for the instalment packages. Andrew says, what has happened to Heaven? Not heard anything. What is it about injuries at United? Players never seem to be out for just 2 or 3 matches. Heaven is back on grass training, Andrew, and could be available. I don't think he's travelled today, but I think we're looking at possibly seeing Aidan Heaven available in a matchday squad for Lyon in the second leg at Old Trafford on Thursday, Andrew. That's what I am being told anyway. Back training on grass and just working on the fitness side of things now. So expect Heaven to be in the reckoning for the Lyon game, second leg on Thursday night, Andrew. But that's where we're at with him anyway. The realist in the chats, Joe Hugel and the likes of him will fetch a few million on sales and wages to push our own youth through in their places as bench players and loanees for the future. You've got Wheatley, you've got Hugel, you've got quite a few Manchester United Academy players out there right now on loan from the under-21 setup. By the way, obviously, Shea Lacey returned to under-18s action yesterday in United's win, which was absolutely brilliant news for us. So Shea Lacey back in action as well, straight into it with an assist as well. Another great player that has been hit by injuries is another prospect. Yes, another one coming through Manchester United's ranks. But yeah, on the academy side of things, they will play a part in the transfer window. I'm not just saying this just to make up a story at all, but Vitek coming back, and I say this every single time about him. Yes, he could be Man United's number 1 goalkeeper, but if not, that's a goalkeeper that will fetch, I think, a minimum 10 to 15 million quid for what he is. That's 10 to 15 million, 100% profit. Vitek is more valuable to Manchester United in terms of selling him than a Casemiro, a Jadon Sancho near enough. That's probably a bit like... No, Sancho's probably not the right player to bring up on here, but Vitek could bring in more money than Antony, more money than... and then, for instance, Casemiro. He is more valuable than any player out there right now, apart from the obvious other homegrown players for Manchester United, as in Rashford, Garnacho, players like that in a transfer window. And not many people have picked up on that at all in the situation with him. But yeah, it's an interesting one to watch, the goalkeeping side of things, because obviously we've got money in Bayindir as well. We're not paying a lot for him. So, yeah. Happy birthday to Babs as well, long-serving member and subscriber to the channel as well. Today is her birthday. United are going to win the game today against Newcastle for Babs. I've told you, you heard it here first. Just because it's Babs' birthday, we're going to win. And Babs is in the chat this morning, so please do say happy birthday, everybody. Why is Anana supposedly coming back from the Lyon game? Why is Anana supposedly coming back for the Lyon game? Right. Not from the Lyon game, for the Lyon game, Babs has said there. That was my mistake. In terms of him being available again, if he's dropped today, which is the story going around everywhere. We're in a lot of people saying that Bayindir is going to be playing today. And Babs has made a good point. I said the same thing yesterday. Why is he coming back to the team for the Lyon game? We will see if it does happen. I think if Bayindir plays well today, we're looking at Ruben Amorim having a real decision to make. A real decision to make. Adam, just been watching Aston Villa, seen nothing of Rashford. So if he is sold, it won't be to Villa, that's for sure. Not doing enough. Not doing enough. I mean, yesterday, Rashford was subbed off for Ollie Watkins, who came straight into the game against a really crap Southampton side. Let's be honest, the worst team in Premier League history. And Watkins had an instant impact. Again, Rashford, he's honestly, I think he believes in his own hype, and he is going to still be a problem for United this summer. The fact that he is getting games for Villa is a good thing, and we can only hope. The fact that he was in the international fold with Tuchel and played 2 games gives us hope. Past that, we're just looking at this and going, he just has to start playing football. He has to start playing well. It's a shame for us that he's not doing well at Villa. I mean, nobody was really bothered about him, but deep down we're all thinking, you have to do well, Marcus, because we want to sell you this summer. And that's I think, what every United fan is. I wouldn't play Bayindir today. We lose whoever plays in goal today, so save him for Lyon. It's a good point from Block there on that one. Man United's record at St James's Park is shocking, even with a good team. So it doesn't bode well for us today, or anyone who's in goal, to be honest. And I get that. Protect Bayindir from the obvious onslaught which is coming. I get that, I do. Rashford is finished and has been for many years. I don't see Villa paying him what he wants when he is a bench player at Villa. Yeah, in terms of what Rashford wants wage-wise, it's going to be a problem as well. I don't know where Marcus Rashford goes in the summer. I just pray that he has a decent end to the season. It's as simple as that. It really is. I just wanted to go into other news as well, just to bring it up. Just to confirm that Manchester United as well, you can see the story going across the bottom of your screen. Another young prospect coming out in Manchester United scouting reports. We've been watching him for a while. And Manchester United now, I'll read the report, it's now confirmed that Manchester United are interested in Moroccan gem Abdellah Ouzan, I think is how you say it. Abdellah Ouzan. I'm really happy with the work Christopher Vivel and Omar Barada and our scouts are doing. This was a personal report on this. It's not going to be easy to get Ouzan, but I trust Barada and Vivel to get this one done. That's from Rising Gems Online, an online account who was reporting on this, who knows and reports on a lot of academy players and young prospects coming through. Obviously, we've got a lot of our own coming through, but we've seen from reports that I've done, obviously, we've got Kamara coming in from PSG that United are looking at and trying to negotiate. 2 other players from PSG. We talked about the Greek wonder kids as well. Obviously, we've hit the South American market also. We're looking at several Argentinian under-18 players also. We've got Leon coming in already. Work done by Christopher Vivel. Now, Ouzan, another player coming through the ranks and is smashing it. Manchester United had a scout in attendance at the Moroccans under-17 versus under-17s versus Zambia under-17s match. While it might be wishful thinking, I hope one of the main reasons United went to the match was to scout Abdellah Ouzan, giving Christopher Vivel strong connections with the African talent out there. Yeah, I mean, that again, when I talk about the main two people in this recruitment system, Vivel and Wilcox, the younger players that we're actually bringing through at the same time, the workload for Manchester United's recruitment team and what's going on this summer, it's massive. When you look at all of this work that's going on, when you look at the contract situation of players that are supposedly leaving Manchester United, when you look at the main players that need to come in now, as in the Cunhas, the Laps, whoever it may be, when you look at all of that, there is a lot to do. And all of this work for the unproven talents as well, the young players coming through, dealing with our own academy and players coming through, sorting their contracts out, sieving out the ones that are going to make it and the ones that are not. And we know, for instance, Manchester United have Amas, Kamasin, Morehouse, Chido in the squad today to go to Newcastle. Could we see some of our young players this summer as well? And that is why I think Manchester United right now, looking at this summer, are in a completely fresh situation looking in on it. It's like a clean slate. We've got a manager in Ruben who knows what's necessary in terms of moving players out. We've got a recruitment team in that knows how good our own academy is, that also has connections to the best young talent out there, which we're starting to see come through and make an impact in United's first team already in certain things that we've done. And obviously on top of that, we've now got that team in place that's not going to get absolutely rinsed for every single player, overcharged for every single player coming in. The United tax days should be gone now. And that's what we're looking at, I think. And that, obviously, with all of that work that needs to be done, you'd be scared normally as a Man United fan going into a summer like this. But with them people in place, I feel a lot more confident. And I do feel a little bit more upbeat as to what can be done. We are going to be doing a warm-up video later on before the game. It's probably going to be around about 12 o'clock today. So make sure that you're involved in that later on here on FUTV. We will be talking more about what is happening with Eddie Howe as well, which is a bit concerning. How he might not be making the game today because of his health. So yeah, hopefully that works out well. But more on that later on as well. I can see a few people actually talking about that in the chat. So keep your comments coming in on any of these subjects as well. Carlson has come in with a super chat. Says, we bought Yoro purely based on talent. We knew what he was when we bought him. Out of form does not equal not talent. He's shown in the past. Hashtag free Hoyland. Not got a clue on why they've got a hashtag free Hoyland on there, mate. Thanks for the super chats. I don't know if you're defending Hoyland there or whether you're just letting him go for Manchester United. And I don't know which angle you want to go on that one there, mate. But thanks for the super chat anyway. I think you might have been alluding to the talent was there and that's why we bought him. Form is temporary. Maybe something along there. We really need to now concentrate on experienced players. We are trying to run before we can walk with these young players. We can't keep playing younger players week in, week out. They learn nothing. We're not playing young players week in, week out, Stephen. That's the point we're making. Casemiro's getting game time before the likes of Morehouse. You've got the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Mason Mount, getting in ahead of players like Morehouse as well, ahead of Chido. You've got Xerxes, you've got Rasmus Højlund. It's not like we're rushing these players in. Heaven has come through and smashed it. Yoro has come through and smashed it at the moment. You've got two teenagers there that are doing well. You don't want to drop them. So yeah, I think we need to be real with how much game time these young lads get. But still, they are doing a good job. They are doing what's necessary, aren't they? Has anyone seen how we waste our corners? We never score from them. We are not creative at all. I think we've been a bit better. I get what you're saying. We don't score on paper a lot from corners. But we have been quite dangerous from certain set pieces. I mean, for instance, the goal against Leon came from a set piece from Bruno's brilliant ball in. And Leon panicking to clear it. Bang, in it comes. United score from Yoro's head. We have scored from... we did create a couple of good corners against Nottingham Forest, you remember. Dalot hit the bar. Casemiro should have scored. I think Casemiro should have scored from another corner against Leon, which went just wide, which we're forgetting about as well. So just on that point, I think that's more for another show. But I do believe that we are getting better anyway. The problem, young versus experienced players. The problem isn't... the problem is good players versus bad players. Right, so a few typos in there, George Oliver. But what he's trying to say is the problem isn't young versus experience. The problem is good versus bad. If they're young enough, they're good. If they're good enough, they're old enough, is the old saying there, isn't it? Højlund needs nurturing. We are a top striker short. Yes, I think priority number one in the market is a striker. Just wanted to gauge your opinion. What did you all think of Ryan Shirkey's performance against United? Did you rate him? I didn't think he played that well. I'm going to be honest. I know his numbers, and his numbers are phenomenal for the season. They really are. And obviously United played him well in that game, knowing how good he is. But there is a story going around that Manchester United are top front runners for Ryan Shirkey right now, and that's come out of these reports this morning about this so-called war chest. The report is Manchester United are leading the chase for Ryan Shirkey. At the age of 16, Manchester United were well aware of his talents, and despite missing out, they have since monitored him and are now set to make a move in the summer. He would cost 20 million. I talked about it earlier on in this show. I just wanted to gauge your opinion on this while we're talking about the chats, actually. So come on to me on Ryan Shirkey. I'm just going to read through a few more reports as well, quickly. Manchester United have checked on Sheffield United's 18-year-old striker, Ryan Wan. However, Ipswich Town see him as a replacement for Liam Delap and are expected to bid for him this summer. There, I don't think the story is United going for a player like that. It's more like, it looks like Ipswich are trying to find a replacement for the obvious departure of Liam Delap. I think that's what we take from that, more importantly. And I think also, again, good signs that we know some of our targets that we're looking at this summer are definitely leaving and no one's standing firm on them. You can't really stand firm when they're going down to the Championship. Another report there from Simon Jones from the Daily Mail has also come up on Abdelruzan, the 17-year-old African player, Moroccan player. Again, another report coming out there. So that's backed up that previous one on him. That does look like a nailed-on target, another young target for Manchester United going into the summer. Let's get into some of your comments on Ryan Shirkey. What did you rate him as? Don't forget, everybody, as well, the show continues over on Football Talk straight after this show finishes as well. We are going to be over there doing the paper round, going through all of the paper stories from around this morning, around the Premier League, talking a few different subjects around different Premier League teams as well. So that is coming up next after this show, so stay tuned for that. Let's see what else we've got in here. Adam, I don't think he looked that good to me, as in Ryan Shirkey. He definitely adds something to our squad. I'd take Shirkey over Dibbling all day long, says Tomo. Shirkey or Dibbling? And this all comes down to the fact that we were looking at Shirkey, expecting probably a little bit more. I mean, he scored the goal, which got him the equaliser, didn't he? He had some little moments here and there, but overall, I don't think it was mind-blowingly good, Shirkey's performance last night. I really don't. On Thursday night, sorry. But look, he's a good player. He's young. I think his creation is a factor in this. His numbers are phenomenal, like I said. He's up there with Bruno Fernandes in Europe for assists. He obviously doesn't have as many goals. I think he's got 18 assists and 9 goals now this season, Ryan Shirkey, which is decent. Let's be honest, very decent. And has scored in the Europa League in big games, like the quarter-final against Man United. I still want the SL players... the SL player, Gyökeres... Right, the Sporting player, Gyökeres, I think you meant there, Babs. Sorry, can't spell it, but I don't think we'll have the money. I don't think United are going to spend that much money on a player turning 27, was the report, Babs. I don't think we're even going to go in for him. I mean, that's just my sort of take on it. Sorry to burst any bubbles there, but yeah, I don't think Gyökeres is a realistic United target anymore, and it has completely cooled the talks around Gyökeres. I feel like it is going to be a no-goer, that one, definitely. Shirkey in that game was anonymous, but haven't watched much about him, to be honest. I think, Rudresh, you've got it there. We can't really judge this player solely off the back of one game. I think we're looking at him on a big stage and a big occasion like that quarter-final and see how he coped. But it wasn't mind-blowing, was it? But at 20+ million, what he's going to cost, at 21, he fits so many different characteristics and obviously profiles that Manchester United are looking at this summer. It really does. It looks like, I feel, that one is Manchester United getting another good look at him on Thursday, and for Ruben to actually be able to watch him close as well, in personal. We'll see if anything develops after Thursday night on Shirky, because that really, for us, is the best way to judge him. Like 2 full games watching him, proper scouting report as well from other scouts watching him throughout the season. No doubts, like we just said there, we've been monitoring him for the last 4 years, so we know all about him. It's whether Ruben feels he's got the right characteristics on the big stage. So let's see if he shines at Old Trafford. Hopefully not. But I think we will probably find out more as the season draws to a close regarding Ryan Shirky, because he's a hot property, and obviously transfer news is going to start to ramp up because of all of the teams that are getting that early start in the transfer window from June 1st. So I think I've said this before, everything that's happening right now is really because that window is opening earlier. So the transfer speculation and stories that are going around aren't just made up garbage. It's a case of looking at this now and going, it needs to be done. The negotiations need to have happened and you need to be ready to hit that ground running as soon as the window opens. You can see Ryan is a good player. He was okay against us. I expected more because United are not that good. I think he will show up on Thursday. I hope he doesn't, but I get what you're saying there, Nathan. Totally. Going North Stand on a Thursday. You're in my stand then, Babs. I'll see you there. It's going to be a big night for United. Good atmosphere, I expect, at the club as well. Do I think he'll bring De Gea back, says Eliza? No. Because he's just been, Fiorentina have just triggered that extension on his deal. So he's staying at Fiorentina. He's extended his contract. That news actually came out over this weekend, actually. So De Gea, well done to him. He's convinced enough at Fiorentina and is going to be part of their squad going forward. Are you going Old Trafford Thursday, Adam? Going to be some buzz, mate? Yes, Gary, I am there. I think it's going to be a good atmosphere. If we win on Thursday as well, I can't wait to get outside and hear what people are talking about. Honestly, like, the best feeling in the world is going outside of Old Trafford after a performance and knowing that United have done well. I think that, for me, that's the best feeling. Like, knowing that you've played well and going into a semi-final as well. That would be big. We will win on Thursday, then smash Rangers, then smash Rangers. Just been looking at hotels in Bilbao. Oh my God, minimum 1,000 for one night. I'll sleep in the street. Yeah, we're probably going to get rinsed for that final. Bilbao will be dear. It will be very, very dear. That Sweet says we need to get to a point where we are buying players to cover our best players. Then you know you have a top-notch squad. It's going to take time, that does, Sweets. You're right. It is going to take time to get to that level, though. I think that's what you've got to remember in all of this as well. Just to go over all of the news again, just to summarise everything, if you have just joined us. The story is floating around this morning. Manchester United's war chest for Ruben Amorim. 200 million to be spent. Realistically, it's everything that we've talked about already, and the papers are sensationalising the stories this morning by saying that there is going to be a big spend and a big cut of the squad. We already know the players that are leaving United. Them 9 players are the ones that we've already talked about. So it's no news. It's not new news. What you've got to look at in all of this is Manchester United are still going to spend big money this summer. It's all about the players that come in. It's all about Vival. It's all about Wilcox and Ruben working with them two. That should be what you're looking at, not the big headlines of what Manchester United are going to do, how they're going to smash their transfer record, how they're going to smash a certain amount of money spent this summer when United are supposedly in debt and are broke, according to the co-owner, Sir Jim Radcliffe. That's what the story is trying to be built up to be. The reality is what United do and how clever they are in the window. And it's always been the case, and that's exactly what I will drive consistently here on Forever United TV. But look, that is us all done on Forever United TV. We're going to jump across to Football Talks right now just to continue the conversation and bring up these stories from the morning papers around all of the other Premier League teams as well. It's a general chit-chat through the papers. If you want to join us and carry on, please do jump across. You will be directed. There's a link right there in the live chat to go across anyway. Subscribe to the channel, please, everybody. All that's left for me to say now is thank you to everybody in the chat. Comments were banging this morning. Thank you. Thank you, mods. Thank you all of the members. Thank you, new members. And thank you, anybody who has just subscribed to the channel as well. Please give this video a like if you're loving the content. We'll get close to 300, actually, which is a good start to the weekend. And a positive vibe heading into match day as well. I will be back later on Forever United TV, probably around lunchtime, 12 o'clock. with your warm-up show ahead of the Newcastle game. So please do join me there as well. But for now, here on Forever United TV, that's it. I'll see you all over on Football Talks in just a moment. Cheers, everybody.